There's Mike.
Hi, Mike.
Good evening.
Good evening, Mike.
Recording in progress.
Thank you. Okay, well, good evening, everyone. I want to welcome you all to our monthly meeting of the Peabody Conservation Commission. Today is Wednesday, November 17th. Today's meeting will be attended remotely to keep us safe. I will read the governor's rules suspending certain provisions for open meeting laws. Pursuant to Governor Baker's March 12th, 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, general laws, chapter 30A, subsection 18, and the governor's March 15, 2020 order imposing strict limitations on the number of people that may gather in one place as extended on June 15, 2021, with the governor signing the Senate Bill number such and such 2457, suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, allowing public bodies greater flexibility to utilize technology in the conduct of meetings under open meeting laws. This meeting of the Peabody Conservation Commission is conducted by a remote participation to the greatest extent possible. No in-person attendance of member of the public will be permitted, but every effort will be made to ensure that the public can adequately access the proceedings in real time using technological means. Members of the commission that are present tonight, we have Lucia Del Negro, who's our conservation agent, myself, Mike Rizzo, and vice chairman, Bruce Comack, Mike Vivaldi, Arthur Athos, Amanda Green, and Rita Marie Cavicchio. Our first order of business tonight is under certificates of compliance. It's a continued request for a full certificate of compliance as made by Frederick Hostrup, Neptune Engineering, on behalf of 160 Main Street Realty LLC, Nikolai Polovinsky, for DEP file number 55-793. The project was the redevelopment of a previously degraded site for commercial and residential use. The address is known as 166 Main Street, map 86, lot 150B in the city of Peabody. Partial certificate has been issued. Item will remain on the agenda until a full certificate can be requested, and that's going to be continued to our May meeting. Motion to continue this.
You actually don't need a motion because you missed this, Mike. They made a motion to continue it until May 2022 because the plantings, the riverfront plantings needed 2 growing seasons and we were only in 1 growing season.
Okay.
So.
All right. Thank you. All right. Item 2 on the agenda is a request for a partial certificate of compliance. Is made by Attorney John Thomas Callahan on behalf of Louis and Margaret Pazinski, DEP file number 55-350. The original project was entitled Summit Acres Subdivision, and the original order was dated 10/6 of 1993. The applicant's requesting a partial certificate of compliance for 1 Travis Terrace, map 101, lot 232, in the city of Peabody. Okay, somebody here on this? Here we go.
Yes, I am, Mr. Chairman.
How are you today?
Good, how are you?
Good, thanks.
I am here on, I believe, a relatively simple matter. This is going on a 30-year-old order of conditions, and it was a subdivision built back some 28 to 30 years ago. And we are not within, my particular parcel is not within the 100-foot buffer zone. And I'm hoping that you would see fit to give us a partial release from the order of conditions.
Okay. I don't know if it matters. I happen to look at the plan, and I think on the certificate of compliance, there was, maybe I'm not understanding it, but on the boxes to check, it says was a stamped plan provided for this project, and it was, yet I think the no box was checked.
Do you want me to pull up some stuff?
I think it's a minor thing, but I just happened to notice that. I just didn't know if it really.
Sorry. Bear with me. I'm having issues. Is this what you're talking about, Mike?
Yeah, what page you on? Right.
It's the second page of the request.
Yeah. It said, did the order of conditions for the project or a portion thereof contain an approval of any plans stamped by a registered professional engineer, which they were. The plans were stamped. And that no box was checked instead of yes. I don't know if it matters. Am I not understanding the question?
Well, I think it's because this was one of those ones back in, like, what year was this? Really, when was it? Yeah, 1993. Back in like the 90s. I don't know what you guys were doing, but you were having people file for subdivisions, and a lot of the houses were outside. Let me show you. So
that's true. That was always the case. Yeah, the subdivision was under one NOI, but there was some parcels where basically the project was under the NOI, but because of watershed and every other different reasons, but certain parcels were outside the jurisdiction of the resource area.
yeah,
yes,
it must have been because the person owned the whole parcel at one point.
Yeah.
But anyway, so they did actually submit a plan. It's just for their lot only. And then I have a better, this one doesn't really show it as well, but this is it again. And then if I go back, oh, I did take pictures. I did put the GIS. I guess it's not on here. I put it on my comments to you guys, but these are the pictures I took. I mean, there's no wetlands on this property.
No, I'm okay with the certificate and moving that forward. I just didn't know if the form had to be changed for that one question.
No,
I'll defer to the attorney.
I don't think so.
No, I don't believe so either, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. All right.
Through the chair, I just have a question. Why are they only asking for a partial certificate?
May I answer through the chair?
Yes.
Because if they ask for a full certificate, it's on the full subdivision, and that would 100% require engineer to sign off on the entire subdivision.
Oh,
So if you're gonna, I don't know where the developer is, but I think it was one of the disappearing developers that
Okay.
did the subdivision and then just took off, sold all the lots in the 90s. And so this is pretty typical for the Concom to do partials on just single lots, especially when it's a simple, this is a simple one because there's no wetlands.
Okay.
But I mean, if someone wants to chase down, you guys don't have to do a partial, but
I'm okay as long as the petitioner tonight is okay.
I guess my question is, if he goes to sell the property, doesn't he need a full certificate?
Well, the seller does not need a full certificate as long as his particular parcel has a release. That will satisfy the buyer.
Okay.
Okay.
I
Anybody have
move
any
to
concerns or
approve.
questions about the site or the partial certificate?
Is this a public hearing?
Yes.
through the chair, we're in a public hearing, but certificates of compliance typically aren't, like, there's no legal ad. Certainly if someone in the public wants to speak, we will allow them to, but you don't have to unless there's someone like vigorously raising their hand who wants to speak.
So if you don't see anybody, Lucia, we can move forward.
Yes, so now would be the time if someone does want to speak on this to raise your hand. If you have any objections in the audience, please.
Through the chair, do we know, does the city know where the rest of how many lots remain on that should have a certificate? Does the attorney know? Does Mr. Gallagher?
I have no idea, sir. Like, as Lucia said, the developers from the 90s are long gone. I have no idea how many are left unreleased. I have not done that research.
Okay.
Mike, to answer your question through the chair, the original order of conditions, it was the original address was 119 to 123 Linfield Street. And then there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 parcels. So I'm assuming that maybe there were 6 houses. Some of them were actually on Linfield Street, though, I'm pretty sure. There was, if you look at the GIS that I screenshot, I think that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that's probably all of them. The ones that are in that screenshot.
Okay. You don't see anybody who wants to speak on this matter, Lucia?
No, no one is raising their hand
Okay,
that I see.
I will entertain a motion to issue a partial certificate for this project.
I'd move to approve a partial certificate of compliance for 1 Travis Terrace.
Do I have a second?
Yes, second.
Second by Bruce.
I'm going to go ahead and do a roll call.
Okay.
So the motion was made for a partial certificate of compliance to release only 1 Travis Terrace on 55-350. Motion made by author, seconded by Bruce. Roll call, Vice Chairman Rizzo,
Yes.
Secretary Vivaldi,
Yes.
Commissioner Comack,
Yes,
Commissioner Athos,
Yes.
Commissioner Green,
Yes.
Commissioner Cavicchio.
Yes.
All right, so it passes 6-0 unanimously. And Mike, just before, I can't remember, did you list everyone's name at the beginning of the meeting who was here?
I did.
Okay, and then I also just
think I
want to,
mentioned Mike's name. I think I said Mike because Mike showed up just as we were starting, right?
all right, great.
You said my name.
Yeah.
And then both of the alternative commissioners, Commissioner Green and Commissioner Cavicchio, both have voting rights in the absence of Travis, Stewart, and Melissa.
If I may, Mr. Chair, thank you very much for that vote, but I have to say, Lucia was so impressive. You're lucky to have her.
Thank you.
We are.
We are.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, next item on the agenda is item 2. It too is a request for a full certificate of compliance is made by John Kelty, Jay Gallagher on behalf of Theodora and Nathan Kennedy for DEP file number 55-802. Original project was the demolition and reconstruction of a single-family home, a driveway, utilities in the buffer zone for the property known as 19 Rare Horahan Street, map 103, lot 46, in the city of Peabody.
I'm just finding the people in the audience. Bear with me.
Mhm.
I believe I just promoted Nathan, who he is the seller. And if anyone else is in the audience that would like to speak on this, if you could please raise your hand and I will promote you to a panelist. Mike, the seller has been promoted. You already read, didn't you read it aloud?
Yes.
Did you want him to present?
Yeah, sure.
All right, Nate, Mr. Kennedy, you can unmute yourself and present. And if you need me to help with anything, I took pictures and everything. So just say the word.
Oh, perfect. Thank you. Can everybody hear me okay?
Yes.
Hi. So, yeah, I thought everything was filed. Unfortunately, I assumed it was until we went to sell. I thought we stayed in within the guidelines of the commission. I think there was only one question was the potential driveway, the driveway size. So I think, Lucy, I think we were in touch, geez, what was that? Probably about 6 years ago when we were doing the project.
Okay.
Can everyone hear me? Sorry, I'm
Yeah.
going in and out.
Well, I think I'm okay with the plan.
I can hear you.
I can see that the driveway's a little bigger, but I don't know. I don't think that's a problem.
Yeah, from from the original drawings, unfortunately I tried to find the original what we did get approved for. Unfortunately, don't mind the moving box there. But if my memory serves me correctly, it was a little bit back from where it actually is, from that fence line.
Okay.
I know Ennis had some work done. Who owns I believe it's 1 and 3 Lincoln Street. So I kind of worked off of that.
Any commissioners have any questions? Nobody?
Why does it say Lincoln Street in one of these?
So we are actually 19 rear Horahan Street. So this was my wife's great aunt's house, and she was able to pick Lincoln Street or rear Horahan, and she picked rear Horahan Street, and then Lincoln Street was put in. So
actually, so if you drove there, the sign would say Lincoln Street?
It would say Lincoln Street. So we actually had the city put a sign up that says 19 rear Horahan facing down Lincoln Street. But rear Horahan is actually the left off of Washington.
Wow.
So it's a really weird address.
You must have trouble getting mail.
We did it first. So we had a really good mailman. And you know, we had our neighbor owns 19 Horahan, so good friends from high school. So all our mail would go there. So yeah, many times walking up the hill to get the mail or a pizza.
Okay. Anybody have any comments or concerns? The driveway is bigger than it was before, but it was on the plan, but still outside the buffer zone, so I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I don't think it's a big deal.
I agree.
Anybody there, Lucia, wants to speak on this matter? Other than us?
No one is raising their hand. And just so you guys know, the wetlands are actually across the street. And really the driveway, it's only like one, it's like they added like maybe just so that they can have 2 cars there because they don't have a garage or anything. And when I was out there in my notes, I saw it was either a hawk or a peregrine falcon, and it was fighting a blue jay. So wildlife is doing fine with the extra driveway space. They're all staying across the street.
Okay.
Well, that was confusing. I thought it was the back of the lot.
I did too. Now I can see it. Yeah, I see it better. I'm still okay with it. Okay, do I have a motion to issue a full certificate of compliance for 19R Horahan Street?
So moved.
Second by Michael.
Bruce said it and I second it.
Yeah, Bruce made the motion and Michael seconded.
All right, roll call. Motion to issue a full certificate of compliance on DEP file number 55802, as made by Mr. Comack, seconded by Mr. Vivaldi. Roll call, Vice Chairman Rizzo,
Yes.
Secretary Vivaldi,
Yes.
Commissioner Comack,
Yes.
Commissioner Athos,
Yes.
Commissioner Green,
Yes.
Commissioner Kavicchio.
Yes.
All right, so it passes 6-0. Nathan, I'll draft it probably within a week or so, unless you guys really need it. Do you need it or?
We do need it. The seller's attorney is holding back funds
Okay,
just until it is settled. So, I mean, yeah, whenever you can get it, it'll be great.
no, that's good to know that there's money being held because I'll work on it. I
Okay.
should be able to get it done in like a half hour.
Okay. That's great.
Oops. Hey, wait a minute. Okay, the OneDrive. Okay. Next item on the agenda is item number 3, which comes on the request for determination of applicability. The continued public hearing on a request for determination of applicability submitted by Anthony Capichetti, Hayes Engineering for Mills 58, the 2 LLC, care of Edward Greeley, applicant owner. The proposed work is the construction of a parking area and stormwater infiltration system for rooftop runoff within 100 feet of an isolated vegetated wetland under local jurisdiction. The property is known as 58 Pulaski Street, map 53, lot 87 in the city of Peabody.
They're requesting a continuance, right?
Yeah, I saw that Julie Daigle, the manager of 58 Mills, was in the audience, and Eddie, the owner, I believe. So I promoted them to panelist. If I didn't know, I think that they were coming out of respect to request the continuance.
Okay.
I think if I'm right, Julie or Eddie, if you guys want to unmute yourself.
That is correct. Thank you, Lucia.
Okay. So we have a motion to continue this to our next meeting.
I'll make that motion to continue.
Second,
Second.
second by Amanda,
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry.
I seconded too.
second by Rita Marie.
Yes.
I'm going to go ahead and do a roll call. So there's a continuation on 58 Pulaski Street RDA. The motion was made by Arthur, seconded by Rita Marie. Roll call, Vice Chairman Rizzo,
Yes,
Secretary Vivaldi,
Yes.
Commissioner Comack,
Yes.
Commissioner Athos,
Yes.
Commissioner Green,
Yes.
Commissioner Cavicchio.
Yes.
All right, passes unanimously, continued until December 8th, correct?
Yes, that is correct. Thank you.
all right, thank you. All right, item number 4 on the agenda is a public hearing on a request for determination of applicability submitted by Jay Hanschel of Gibraltar Pools Corporation for Kyle Cafalo, owner. The proposed work is the construction of an above-ground swimming pool. The property is known as 41 Downing Road, map 60, lot 37 in the city of Peabody.
Carla and Jay to panelists, so they should be able to unmute themselves and start their video if they want. And if they need me to share the
Okay.
screen, just say the word.
I'm not on the screen, but can you hear me?
Yes,
Okay. I guess that's the important part. I'm not showing an image here. It's probably technology for you. Yeah. Well, can we do this with just my voice?
Lucia could put the OneDrive up for the plan. You able to do that, Lucia?
Oh yeah, of course. And yeah, you don't need to put your video on if you
It's not
can't.
turning on for some reason.
Yeah, it's just that the commissioners, since they're voting, their cameras per the open meeting law need to be on. So you don't necessarily, but yes, I will share that right now. guys see that? There's another plan that show the wetlands. There's not a plan with both the wetlands and the pool. I didn't know if that would be an issue since it's just an above ground pool. I thought maybe you guys might relax
Well,
that.
saying that there's a pool on the other two properties.
Yeah, the property's flanked on both sides with the pool.
Yeah,
The wetlands border right on the property line and are separated from the yard by a fence. So there's already a physical barrier there. The yard is a very, very established yard, all lawn.
yeah.
And the diagram of the pool that you saw on the previous plan, the outer dimensions of that is a deck that's actually cantilevered. So the area of disturbance will be just the 12 by 24 area where the inner rectangle on that drawing is.
Yeah, okay. That looks fairly simple. Are you aware of all the requirements relative to building a pool, constructing and maintaining, and how you would close it down in the wintertime? About making sure that the chlorine that's in the pool is dissipated. You have to wait, you just have the water has to sit, no chlorine for 7 days. There's a set of criteria. Are you familiar?
Yes, and we'll advise the homeowner of all of that. The filtration system we'll be using will be a cartridge system, so there'll be no backwash. The pool actually does use a bottom filtration, so our filtration is extremely efficient, so we do rely on much less chemical than your typical above ground pool.
Okay. Okay, so the only question that I would have would be in setting the pool, the topography of the property. I think the yard pitches from west to east. And so I imagine if you had to do any kind of leveling, that you would be leveling, starting on the existing grade on the easterly edge of the pool and cutting in.
Yes.
Okay.
The grade, it's pretty minor. Yeah, mostly it'll just be sod removal.
Okay.
We're replacing the pool. The grade is at the lowest point. If we moved it a little farther towards the front, then it's gonna be a larger disturbance.
I see. Okay. It's hard for me to tell. I could tell from the street view, but I couldn't see the backyard, so. Okay, that sounds good. And how about your access in and out of the site with excavation and equipment? It doesn't look like you have much room.
No, it's on the left side of the property. There's a double gate. We can get right in there. Come right around the back of the house.
Okay. Okay, and then you'll have erosion controls in place and so forth?
Yep.
Are those on the plan?
No, they're not on the plan, but I was leaving that up to the order of conditions.
Okay, so, okay. I'll put that in the conditions then. Very good. Is there anybody here, anybody in the commission who has any questions with regard to this project in the pool? Seeing none. Lucia, is anybody there? Any neighbors that wanted to speak on this?
If you want to open it to them and tell them to raise their hand, I don't think anyone's going to be, but I think you technically have to open it to the public now that we're on the public hearing bit.
Yeah. Okay, you can do that.
Yep. So if anyone would like to speak for or against, please raise your hand. I do not see anyone.
Okay, in that case, I'll entertain a motion to issue a negative determination for this project, and we'll have some conditions. And Lucia, you have a list of conditions that you already wrote up?
Sure, I would gladly like to read them.
Okay,
Yep, so if the commission wishes to vote favorably and not require a notice of intent, a negative determination with the following recommended conditions. One would be notify the Conservation Commission in writing prior to construction startup, and that the approved erosion and sedimentation controls are in place and ready for inspection. Erosion controls must be inspected by the agent or staff before any work can commence. Compost logs or straw bales without plastic meshing shall be used. Hay bales are not allowed. And the most important one, number 2, Carla, definitely listen to this one. In the event a swimming pool is placed on this lot, the following condition shall apply in perpetuity. The content of water in swimming pools can be detrimental to wetlands, plant, and animal species. To remove harmful chemicals, it is the applicant's responsibility to leave the pool water standing without the addition of chlorine for a minimum of 7 days before draining, per the city's stormwater system ordinance. In this way, chlorine concentration will be significantly reduced due to volatilization. All pool water, wherever possible, shall be drained through a dry well rather than allowed to spread over the surface of the land. The City of Peabody's Conservation Commission office shall be notified prior to draining the pool, and the method shall be approved beforehand. That condition would be in perpetuity. And what the local ordinance, actually, you can drain it into the catch basin as long as you let it sit for 7 days. I believe that is the preference, what we talked about a couple meetings ago. I think we're trying to steer away from directing it into the wetlands. Would you have the ability to drain it into a catch basin easily, or is the catch basin really far away?
Absolutely, I'd be able to do that.
All right, either way, like maybe the first year that you drain it, maybe just give me a call. I'm gonna have to come out to check out the erosion controls anyway before work starts, so we can like check out what the situation is, and you can still drain it into the wetlands. I think that's just our second choice.
There's not much call for drainage. The type of the structure of the pool is when you get down to the fall, this time of year when people will typically drain their pools. What we have to drain out is extremely minimal. So it's really never usually more than 1 or 2 inches.
yeah, just got to get it down below the skimmer, that's all you need.
Yeah, generally we seal the skimmer. We have a valve manifold that shuts everything down.
Okay,
Water's too expensive to throw away these days.
okay. Okay, motion to approve?
You need to close the public hearing first. And there's no hands raised.
Okay, motion to close the public hearing,
Move to close the public hearing.
second by
Second,
Bruce. Motion
Yes.
by Arthur, second by Bruce.
All right, roll call. Vice Chairman Rizzo,
Yes,
Secretary Vivaldi,
Yes.
Commissioner Kromack,
yes.
Commissioner Athos,
Yes.
Commissioner Green,
Yes.
Commissioner Cavicchio.
Yes.
All right, so it's closed 6-0.
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
I apologize for the camera snafu here.
That's okay.
No, we're not done yet. Hold on.
I would move to make a motion for a negative determination with the conditions that were previously stated by the conservation agent.
Second,
All right, I'm gonna do a roll call. So a motion for a negative determination with the 2 conditions that I just read aloud. That motion was made by Arthur, seconded by Bruce. Roll call, Vice Chairman Rizzo,
Yes,
Secretary Vivaldi,
Yes.
Commissioner Kromack,
yes.
Commissioner Athos,
Yes.
Commissioner Green,
Yes.
Commissioner Cavicchio.
Yes.
All right, so that passes 6-0. Now you're all set.
Okay.
Now I'll say thank you.
Have a good evening. Thank you very much.
you too.
better get it done before Christmas.
We're delivering tomorrow. Good night.
Good night. Okay, moving forward, our next item on the agenda is item number 5, under request for determination of applicability. It's a public hearing on a request for determination of applicability submitted by Mel Higgins of Weston and Sampson for Peter Fishy, Salem Country Club. The proposed application is an after-the-fact filing of an irrigation well. Property is known as 133 Forest Street, map 59, lot 81 in the city of Peabody.
My name is Mel Higgins from Weston and Sampson. I'm also here with Bill Rocco and Peter Fischel from the Salem Country Club, and I'm here representing the Salem Country Club. So as a bit of a quick background on this, in April of 2021, the Salem Country Club hired Weston and Sampson to assess the viability of an irrigation well. This irrigation well was installed in 2020. The well was it is in the 100-foot buffer zone to an irrigation pond. And during our conversations with the Salem Country Club, it was determined that the irrigation well was never approved by the Conservation Commission, even though it's in the 100-foot buffer zone. Once we discovered this, we reached out to Lucia, and Lucia advised us to submit an RDA to gain after-the-fact approval for this, which is what we've done. And Lucia's big question to us was, what were the impacts when this was installed? There were no trees that were removed as part of this project. It's right off a service road on the country club. It was installed in basically open area. There's just some scrub material. And as far as impacts, roughly 10 square feet of buffer zone were impacted, and that's just associated with the boring that was created to install the well. In the end, Salem Country Club is not going to be using this irrigation well anytime soon. For various reasons, we determined that it's just not advisable to use at this point in time. So it's just going to sit there. It's going to do nothing. And we're just here to gain after the fact approval of this well.
So you use the pond for irrigation? You draw water from that pond for irrigation?
Correct. We pump into the pond and we pump out of the pond. It's irrigation, man-made irrigation pond for the irrigation system of the country club.
Yeah. Okay. So that's a nice well there. I heard that that the water down there where you would draw that from, I heard the water is really very clean, really good water.
Yeah, it is. We got very lucky.
Yeah. Okay.
So there's no pump in the well?
No pump in the well. You want to see the picture? Let me
I don't need, you say there's no pump? I believe there's no pump.
Okay.
So why did you abandon the well? Not enough gallons a minute?
No, we found another one which is completely away from there, and it's about 10 times better than that one. That's why we abandoned it. We found one where we got really lucky. So, and we go into the permitting process right now. The 10-day pump test, I think, starts on December 5th. We're working with the DAP. It's all good.
Okay. Does anybody have any other questions? Anybody from the commission? Seeing none. Lucia, if you want to open it up to the public, does anybody wants to speak on this matter, either for or against?
far do not see anyone. I'm not there's one person I was expecting and I do not see him in the audience, so he must be okay with it at this point.
Okay. So in that case, you can close the public hearing. Let's see. So we're still looking for an IDA with or without conditions. So I don't know, Bruce, do you think there's anything we need to be concerned about with that well just?
They've already drilled the well. One of the questions I was gonna ask was how deep the well was.
505 feet into bedrock.
No, I know. So it's 505 feet. I mean, do you know how much casing did they use? How much casing did you guys use to get to the bedrock? Pardon me?
Was it 8-inch?
No,
It
how
was
much
an 8-inch diameter.
Yeah, but how much casing did you take to get to bedrock?
And I'm sorry, I don't have that information with me.
Right. Again, it's after the fact. I'm sure they cleaned up the, 500 feet, 8-inch. There's a certain amount of volume of material that came out of there.
No, I think my question is the well as I'm seeing in the photo, is there any chances that could be vandalized or something could be put in the well? Is the well secure?
It should be. You know what? Hold on.
The water down there and that you guys have on your property is so good. I wouldn't want to see somebody do something and put something in there. I don't know if there's a cap, that is a lockable cap or something like that, or.
Be pretty tough to get in there. I mean, you physically have to go down there with a ratchet. Most of the time, there's a cap on it and take it off. I'm not sure. I was looking at a picture, but I don't see. It's not close. It's not big enough.
Covered up.
Right. I mean, that's if they really want to ensure that there never anything could be done, which I don't really think is a big deal, they could cut the casing below ground. They can cut the casing below grade and cap it, and then just put an irrigation box over it. No one's even going to know it's there, except for they would know.
Yeah, I just don't know if we have to ask for something like that. I hate to see somebody vandalize that or do something to it if it's not safe.
Well,
There's no intent that it would ever be used in the future?
Well, they may want to use it someday. I mean, someday there could be, and they might find a need for it. I wouldn't want to make them fill it in or do something. I just was curious if there's a cap that is on there, threaded on and locked or something like that.
I don't know. How is it? You can ask the gentleman from how they left it. I don't know how they left it.
Can you give me access to share the screen so everyone can see how we left it?
Sure.
Yes, I'm sorry. Bear with me. I'm really sorry. Give me a second.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, you should be able to now.
Okay, I got it. That's how it looks like.
Right, but there must be something underneath that. That's just a plastic bag.
That's why I'm saying that's not something that's going to last for the next 10, 15 years or something. Whatever that is, it's
Yeah, no, they can certainly put a cap on it.
But just let us know what you want us to put on, and we put on whatever you want us to put on.
Okay.
No problem.
I'm not an expert on this. I don't know what's the proper way of securing that well to keep it safe. I just don't know myself what would be
they make a cap that goes on, Michael. They make a cap that goes on that has a ratchet. You can tighten it down, and you wouldn't be able to get it. Again, you need hand tools to get it off. I think that's
okay.
They certainly shouldn't leave it with just a plastic, wrap on it.
All right.
For their own benefit also.
Yeah. So, I mean, because someday they may need it, and it's a lot of work that was done. So I would make a recommendation for issuing a negative termination with a condition that you cap it.
Here,
You'd have to tell me what you're gonna do, but you could let us know, and Lucia, or we can go out and look at it and make sure that it's locked and secured.
Okay, great, thanks.
Yeah, I mean, would it be acceptable to cut it lower, put the cap on it underneath, have a lock there, and send the picture in? That way, just, I
Yeah,
mean, realistically, this is for our benefit more than anything.
yeah, I think that'd be okay.
Okay.
Is that okay with everybody else?
yes.
Okay. We have to close the public hearing. Anybody want to make a motion to close the public hearing? Is there anybody in the public here tonight that wants to speak on this?
No one has raised their hand. And the one person that I thought would be here, he is not here. So I'm assuming he is all set. I haven't heard from him. I checked my emails at like 6:30, 6:45, and I only had one email from a commissioner.
Okay, so I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
Make a motion to close the public hearing.
Okay. Second by Michael.
All right, I'm gonna do, that was a motion made to close, made by Amanda, seconded by Mr. Vivaldi. Roll call, Vice Chairman Rizzo,
Yes,
Secretary Vivaldi,
Yes.
Commissioner Comack,
Yes.
Commissioner Athos,
Yes.
Commissioner Green,
Yes.
Commissioner Cavicchio.
Yes.
All right, so it's closed 6-0.
okay, and a motion to issue a negative determination with the condition that the well will be rendered safe and capped, and you'll submit to us photos of that. And maybe a letter saying what it is, you know, that there's a lock or something.
Through the chair,
Yes,
Michael, there's three types of well caps. And since they don't need and they can always change it if they want to use it, they should just put a watertight cap on it. It comes with a gasket. It's ratcheted down. It's not like a ridiculous expense or anything. It's just better for what they're doing. That's all.
okay. Okay, if that's okay, then.
Yeah.
You can do a roll call on that, Lucia?
I don't really have a motion, though.
Motion.
Who
Oh,
made it and who seconded it?
Who seconded?
I don't think anyone actually, Mike, you were the one who started saying it, and no one
Yeah.
actually said anything until Bruce chimed in with a watertight cap.
Yeah, so I kind of said what the motion is, but I really not supposed to make the motion. So someone needs to make the motion that to issue the negative determination with the condition that the well will be rendered safe and capped and secured. And that photos will be submitted when that's done. You're gonna do that relatively soon?
Yeah, we're gonna do it very quickly.
Yes.
Okay. So someone want to make that motion?
I'll make the motion. Rita, make the motion that. to
Second.
close.
Right, so I have a motion made by Rita Marie. It was to issue a negative determination that with the condition that the well is rendered safe, capped with a watertight cap and lock. Pictures and a letter of what was done to be submitted. I'll word it a lot better than that, but that's the gist of it. As made by Rita Marie, seconded by author. And I'm going to go ahead and do a roll call. Vice Chairman Rizzo,
Yes,
Secretary Vivaldi,
Yes.
Commissioner Comack,
Yes.
Commissioner Athos,
Yes.
Commissioner Green,
Yes.
Commissioner Cavicchio.
Yes.
All right, so the negative determination with one condition passed 6-0.
Thank you.
thank you very much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
right. Okay, next item on the agenda is item number 6. And, okay, item number 6 is a request for termination of applicability submitted by Greg Hockmuth for William and Asparagus for JDT Group LLC. The applicant is seeking confirmation of wetland boundaries, sensitive areas. This application is for the verification of wetland boundaries, confirmation only, and not for redevelopment of said lot. Property is known as 0 Newbury Street, map 88, lot 7 in the city of Peabody.
Through the chair, they sent a last minute request. Will Politz did submit a memo today. I don't know, or yesterday. I'm sure you guys probably haven't had a chance to read it. But when we went out I was out there twice, walked the site twice, and we did discover some other discharge coming onto the site. So Will's memo is, I think it's like maybe 3 bullets or 4 bullets. So the engineer has to go back and, change his numbers to include the drainage that's coming down from the abutting lots. I think it was like 25, the old Don's Power, the new Phytopia or something, the 7-Eleven and Bertucci's is all coming down there. But the original, the RDA that they submitted, the watershed plan, is only showing the water coming from Don's Power, the old Don's Power building and Route 1. So they respectfully asked for a continuance. Greg did send an email and I told him that should be sufficient. So I'm hoping it is.
Okay, so we have to open it to the public at all?
No, because no one's here anyway. I don't think anyone's here that wants to talk about it, so you could just continue it. I mean, you technically did open it kind of by reading it.
Yeah.
So if anyone wants to speak, they can, but I don't think anyone is here that wants to speak, except maybe Attorney Kelty might want to request it. I think he is their attorney. Jack, if you want to speak, raise your hand. Yep, I'm going to promote Jack.
Jack's muted.
The button, here it is.
There we go.
Am I in now?
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, I am the attorney of record for this project. And yes, we did receive the memo from Will Politz, which will require some more field work. And so, yes, Greg Hockmuth did ask for a continuance so that we could provide that information to both the commission and to Mr. Politz and be back on December 8th, I believe is your date, correct?
Okay. Very good. So
Move to continue.
Second by somebody?
Second.
Second by Bruce?
Yeah.
I'm going to do a roll call to continue 0 Newbury RDA until December 8th, made by Arthur, seconded by Bruce. Roll call, Vice Chairman Rizzo.
Yes.
Secretary Vivaldi.
Hey, guys. You me? Yeah? Just
Sorry, I didn't realize I was muted. Yes.
Commissioner Colmack,
Yes.
Commissioner Athos,
Yes.
Commissioner Green,
Yes.
Commissioner Cavicchio.
Yes.
All right, continued 6-0.
All right. Thank you. The next item under the agenda is item number 7, which falls under notices of intent. It's a continued public hearing on a notice of intent submitted by VHB for CV 13 Cohen LLC, care of Cargo Venture. Kevin Donahue, the property owner is Style USA Inc. The applicant proposes development of commercial and industrial use. Property is known as 13 Corwin Street. In the city of Peabody, map 92, lot number 6.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm John Kelty. I'm an attorney. I have offices at 40 Lowell Street in Peabody, Mass, and I appear on behalf of Cargo Ventures, who are the applicants for notice of intent here this evening. This matter was before you last month. We had been assigned peer review, and those documents, our documents, were submitted to Horsley Witten and several other engineering firms for review in conjunction with not only this filing, but the filings we've made for site plan review, construction review, and eventually city council special permit. We have responded. With me this evening is Karen Staffier of VHB. I think it is fair to say that we have seen the review. We have responded to the review. I'm aware that the usual practice is that there be 2 weeks between our response and our return to the commission for an order, if it is appropriate. It is our feeling that it may be appropriate for the commission to consider the grant of an order of conditions, in as much as we have not pushed back on any of the recommendations made by Horsley Witten, and as such, we believe that we could, we can say with certainty that we have adopted, changed, altered, or in any fashion complied with the range of requests made by Horsley Witten. Karen, if you have anything to add to that, I'd be happy to hear it. Have I overstated our compliance?
No, you have not.
So the reason that we would ask the commission to consider granting us or issuing an order is that we have certain time standards that we need to address, and most importantly, because of the impact of rule or section 17, which is the city council rule that says that I must have my permits granted by any other city agency before I can even apply for my special permit. We are going to run into some serious delays with respect to city council agenda, availability meetings, and then the changing of the guard, if you will, with respect to there being 3 new councilors serving on the city council. Notwithstanding our, the council's rule, we have been to construction review. We will be tomorrow night wrapping up, we hope, site plan review. And if an order were to issue from this commission, that would allow us to move the application, which has been in the clerk's office now for a month and a half. We can move that to the commissioners desk for his sign off, having complied with Rule 17, and then we will be given a hearing date, which at this late date, it'll be sometime in January. But that's what prompts us to respectfully request that the board consider moving forward tonight.
Well, I would take exception with that myself. I haven't seen these new plans just come in. I spent a long time looking at all this stuff, hours going over this whole project, and then you're telling me you submit new stuff yesterday afternoon? If it was so important to meet the deadline, why didn't you get this stuff in 2 weeks ago?
With all due respect, Mr. Chairman, we didn't have our peer review completed. We were assigned our peers. So I'm not complaining. I'm just trying to make
I'm not trying to cause trouble. Just I spent a lot of time looking at this, and there was a bunch of things that deep public services were looking for, and I haven't had a chance to look at any of that stuff.
I understand.
Yeah, I mean, I would prefer to continue this. It's a big project. This is not a small project. But that's just me.
I move to continue.
Wait a minute. We have to all agree. The petition has to agree with us on that. I haven't had a chance to look at anything, so I'm not going to. There were many comments from public services about things that were missing, some contours and calculations and test pits and some other things. And I just can't see myself, issuing an order with not knowing whether these things can get done or whether the public service is okay with that.
So are there any items that you think you would like us to look at that you feel that were not included in any of our comments? I mean our comments, but the comments made by either Horsley Witten or Public Services, just so that we can.
Yeah, well, I think one of the things, let me see, hold on. There was also some comments about, I know that's not Concom related, but there was some traffic comments also relative to horizontal stopping sight distance, changes to the driveway opening.
If I may, we did provide a memo through the planning board today addressing those transportation related comment letter. I'm happy to answer any questions on our stormwater response. It is a lot of information, so
yeah,
I'm more than happy to elaborate or help you feel more comfortable on any of it. I know you have not had this material for very long, so.
I haven't seen it at all. I've spent all day yesterday and part of today, and at the last minute, I saw the thing pop up with new plans. I went, you gotta be kidding me. I just spent the whole day going over everything. And I haven't had time to even look at it. I have no idea what you even submitted.
In light of that, could I make a motion to continue?
Through the chair, I have not had a chance to look at this as well. All I was able to do was take the rubber band off the plan and fold the plan. I opened it today and I had no chance to review anything. It was a booklet of, I don't know, some odd 100 pages, and I think it's 13 sheets of some serious engineering plans. So if you guys are fine without me looking at it, that's fine with me. But the public definitely does need to, it will need to get open to the public if we continue the conversation at some point, just so you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't even speak to the changes. I don't even see the changes. I would prefer to continue this to the next meeting myself. But the commission has to make that decision. The members have to make that decision.
Would it be at all beneficial in the understanding that you guys obviously need to review the information, that I could run through it with you just so you're kind of prime the pump? So when you do have a chance to go look at it, you've had a preview? Or would that not be something you'd like to do at this time?
I like that idea.
I suppose that'd be okay.
Through the chair, there is a lot of information to go through, and I'm not prepared to understand what would be discussed if I don't have the information that I could have, as a background. So if this is a public hearing, I don't know if we should see if there's people in the public, or we should just make a motion to continue this. I
feel the same way as Arthur does. I don't feel like this is enough time to go over something so, so heavy.
Anybody else, Bruce?
Be honest with you, Michael, the peer review should have addressed all these things, but Public Services has come back with stuff, which
Yeah,
I'm not sure if it's been addressed.
Right, in peer review, there were several items that they took care of, didn't need further action, but there are other items that the peer review recommended to be done.
I think we just need to
Again,
continue it for one. I think we need to continue it for one meeting.
Okay. I know I'd feel better. I'd have better time to understand it.
Through the chair, there are 2 hands raised. I'm not sure if you want to open it to the public.
Do we have to? I guess if it's
I think since you started a discussion, it would be a violation of the open meeting law if you didn't allow them to speak at this point.
Okay, I think we probably should do that. And if you do want to speak on this matter, we'll gladly hear what you have to say, but we still have to review the updated plan. So maybe your question not be answered. Maybe your questions are simple. So try to keep your, in other words, you'll be able to come back again the next meeting. So, but feel free to speak your mind.
I just promoted Russell Donovan to a panelist, and then there is also a woman named Ann Quinn in the audience who I will also be promoting.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
This is Russell Donovan down on Quail Road. For the information to the commissioners, that site has a long history of contamination, soil contamination, and overall contamination and pollution for both groundwater and air. It has a lengthy DEP history, and I don't know if the commission is aware of it, but I think you should take due consideration of that contaminated site. It affected groundwater and air, and it's about a 500 page report.
Yeah, I'm aware of that, Russell. I kind of went through a whole bunch of it yesterday and today. Most of it's been mitigated, and I think the site is generally
Well-
been determined that it's safe.
Well, they're going to disturb the ground again by developing it.
I think that's, I mean, it's a sensitive site. I think they're, since back in the, I think the 80s and 2000, the 90s and in 2000, you know, they've addressed release abatement measures have been taken care of.
But my point is they're going to disturb the soil and the site overall by redeveloping it.
I don't know what the development entails.
Well, I think we should find out before we do it.
Yeah,
Thank you.
okay.
Russ, for the record, 12 Quail Road, correct?
That's correct.
You said there was somebody else, Lucia?
Yes, I promoted Ann Quinn. I'm assuming she must live on Quail Road as well. She has been promoted to a panelist and she can unmute herself if she wants.
Okay.
Oh, there we go. Okay. And now what? Am I live?
Yes.
You are.
Oh,
Just say your
okay.
name,
Yes,
your
yes.
name and address, please.
Okay, no, my name is Ann Quinn and I live at 198 Linfield Street. I do not live on Quail Road. And as you probably know, there was a meeting with the neighbors a week or so ago. Most of that dealt with traffic issues, but there was significant concern about flooding in that particular area of Linfield Street as it relates to the pond and the brook. So I think this is something that you ought to be looking at. And I think the idea of putting this off, I mean, I did get all those documents and today, and I certainly haven't had time to look at them. So I'm guessing you don't either. And I think the idea of postponing this is a good one.
Okay. All right. Yeah, this question is about the lack of compensatory storage at certain elevations and showing the flood storage units on the plan and getting some soil testing and inspecting the bed bottom of where the storage units are going to be placed. So this, those are kind of important things. So, so now that people have spoken, we're not closing the public hearing, so the motion will be to continue to our next meeting.
I'll make a motion to continue to next meeting.
I second that.
Okay.
Motion on the floor to continue to December 8th, made by Amanda, seconded by Bruce. Roll call. Vice Chairman Rizzo.
Yes.
Secretary Vivaldi.
Yes.
Commissioner Comack.
Yes.
Commissioner Athos.
Yes.
Commissioner Green.
Yes.
And Commissioner Kubikio.
Yes.
All right, the item is continued. It passes 6-0.
Thank you, commissioners.
Thank you. Good
All
night.
right. Thank you. Sorry about that. Item number 8 on the agenda is a continued public hearing on a notice of intent submitted by Bill Manuel, Wetlands and Land Management, for Regency Realty Trust, Alfred DeMambro, trustee. The proposed project is the construction of 2 buildings and site improvements, paving, utilities, et cetera, in riverfront to the North River. Property is known as 11 to 13 Waller Street, map 85, lot 41, in the city of Peabody. I think Jack's looking for a continuance.
Yeah, continuation.
They asked for I think it's attorney Phil Durkin, actually, and he sent over a letter asking for a continuance until January. And I did want to just remind the commission, this has been on the agenda since April of this year. And DEP had some very serious questions. So at this point, they haven't submitted anything, any revised paperwork, no supplemental information. And as far as I know, they haven't even started the peer review process. So, I mean, at this point, you guys, I mean, not tonight, but in January, my suggestion and recommendation would be that if they haven't submitted anything, you could entertain denying this for lack of information, and it doesn't meet, I believe it's, I don't have my notes with me. It doesn't meet like some flood bordering land subject to flooding standards, I believe. My notes aren't in front of me, but I mean, that's for another meeting. But the attorney Phil Durkin did send over a letter respectfully requesting a continuance until January 12th, I think.
Yeah, I have some real concerns with this site now, especially since DEP is weighed in on the definition of a degraded site, and I concur with DEP on this matter, and I think that it's something that maybe I overlooked back then, back in 2020, but certainly, you know, this project is very sensitive, and this, you know, could pose a problem. So if you want to give them to January to come before us and address these concerns and make some recommendations that we could perhaps support, but looking at the site, and I don't really have a warm and fuzzy feeling about this location. So I think would be in our rights to deny it tonight, but maybe we'll give them the benefit of the doubt to come back in would be January, you said, Lucia?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, I don't have it in front of me, but I'm pretty sure it's January 12th is our next, I don't even think I have a calendar. Oh, wait, hold on. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's January 12th. And it should say on, I think he wrote that on the letter.
Yeah. Well, what's the commission want to do?
Through the chair, Lucia, can we, as a board, send them a letter stating, I mean, not threatening, just stating that we feel that we're willing to extend it to January. However, at that time, if you don't come forward with, you know, whatever information which you have given us in your notes, that we will deny it under, you know, A, B, and C. Is that an appropriate thing to do or not?
Yeah, I already actually did send them an email because last week Bill Manuel emailed me, you know, a one-liner like, can you continue this till December? And then I wrote back, well, someone should definitely appear at the meeting in case the commission wants to talk about possibly denying this under lack of information. And that was when Attorney Durkin got in touch with Brennan Callahan. And then, because Brennan's trying to get a portion of this for the Riverwalk. So Attorney Durkin is well aware that we are looking for supplemental information. in an email, I think I sent it to him on Tuesday. I basically said, if you want to continue this to January, that's fine, but note that you need to come to the January 12th meeting. And I think it was December, I gave him a deadline of December 29th, which is 2 weeks before the meeting, for revised paperwork. And he said he understood, and he knows that there's a possibility that this could be denied. I mean, he hasn't seen all of the reasons for denial. That was shared just with you guys. But I can certainly share all of those with him. I think they understand, I hope, that they definitely need to submit something, because right now the plan, there's absolutely no way it can go forward. Even if you guys approved it for some weird reason, DEP would absolutely.
Yeah, no, I have some reservations about this site. Development. I would, in fact, with exception of Lucia, has anybody been to the site?
I'm well familiar with the site.
You are? I haven't been. I'd like to go see it. Does anybody want to go look at it before it snows?
With a post
I would gladly take a ride down there with Michael. But what I was saying before is what Lucia's done is perfect, up to this point. But I think maybe not just in an email, in an actual formal letter, a formal City of Peabody letter from the Conservation Commission saying just what she just outlined, and then send it to them, and say, look,
I would support that.
I think at this point, I think it needs to be a legit. Again, we're not threatening them; we're just telling them that this could happen.
Yeah.
And I think like I said, Lucia's done a great job with that so far, but I think everything she put in the email should be on a City of Peabody Conservation Commission letterhead, and that way they understand.
Can you do that, Lucia, and have Stu sign it?
Yeah, of course. What do you want me to list? Do you want me to just say, so what the email said was? No,
you can purpose it in advance. Say that the commission. That's why I want to go look at the site, but from what I could see from the photographs and the aerial photography and seeing what DEP talked about, that we right now, at least I do, tend to concur with DEP, and that we believe that this is not a degraded site, or they need to demonstrate that 27,000 square feet of the site is degraded. And we need to.
I think they believe that you guys already agreed to that. I do not think that that's what you guys agreed to.
I think we agreed to where the resource areas were.
That's what I told DEP, that you guys, but the way that so you guys have to be really careful with plans like this, because if you accept the whole plan, I think the way I worded it though, I'll have to go back and check. And I did have this conversation, I think it was with Danielle, the DEP reviewer. I believe that you guys were only verifying the bank, but the riverfront and the bordering land subject to flooding.
I believe so. Under the order of resource area delineation that we signed in September of 2020. I don't think we addressed of what might take place on the site and how much and where the site might be revised or changed. And the fact that they're coming through with saying that the site is degraded was a flag for DEP when they saw it. And when I saw DEP's comments, I looked at the site, I'm going, yeah, I concur with this. So I have concerns about this, and I would like to go see it and get a look at it.
All right, it is locked, and that is, that's music to my ears to hear that you feel that way, and hopefully everyone on the commission agrees with that, because that would be something that we will talk about in January, because then they have to meet the stormwater standards a little bit differently.
That's right.
So if we do want to go out to the site, it is locked, so I will need to reach out to Bill Manuel and set up a site visit, and if there's more than 4 of you, I can just post it as a public hearing, so we should all be able to go out as long as, there's no deliberation. It's just for viewing. It's a pretty easy site
Yeah.
to walk around, but it is locked.
Okay, then if you can do that, Lucia, I can make myself available to, just about any time. Bruce said
Yeah.
he'll go.
Are there
Bruce
any
will go.
particular days that it works for people better than the other time of day, like morning, middle of the day, afternoon? What?
Warm?
Yeah, we're not gonna get any more of those for a while.
Before it snows. Let's do it before it snows.
I can only do afternoons.
Okay, so we could do it with like an early afternoon, like 2 o'clock or something?
That works.
I can leave work a little bit early.
Okay,
Yeah, 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock or something.
all right. So if you could do something like that, Lucia, and whatever date is, unless I have an appointment, which I don't know if I do, but I would be available.
All right, I'll send an email out to the group tomorrow and just test the waters to see who wants to be there, and then I'll get a date and we can figure that out, and then I'll reach out to Bill Manuel. But is there like any Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, any day that works better that anyone would prefer to do it on?
Friday works best for me, but
Friday works best for me also.
Okay, I could do Friday.
Friday.
Okay. All right, so Friday at 2?
Yeah.
All right, I will probably not be there, but I've already been there.
Now, wait a minute, now you're talking, well, there's this Friday. You're not talking about this Friday?
No, just off Friday.
If the next Friday is the day after Thanksgiving. Don't want to do that.
Yeah, so I don't know, next week is all Thanksgiving, so.
Yeah, so we
The
can still
following,
do,
why don't we figure it for the following Friday and see if, hopefully it doesn't snow.
okay,
All right, so that would be, you guys are looking to do Friday, December 3rd?
Correct.
All right, and you guys are okay with me not being there?
Yeah.
Correct.
Well, if you said it's locked, how would we?
Well, I
how would
need
we
to
go-
reach out to Bill Manuel so he can unlock it and let everyone in. So I mean, that's not even necessary that will even work for Bill Manuel. I honestly doubt Friday will work for him at 2. He lives in New Hampshire, so
Oh.
he's gonna wanna, but I'll reach out and ask him.
any day is okay with me. I think. I got my calendar right here.
Lucia, while we're talking about this, how does that flooding on Waller Street related to this property? It's just that there's no drainage?
Those pictures that I sent, that's all directly related to this. That's why I put them in this folder, because I think it's really important that you guys are aware that there's already flooding in this area without a building on that lot.
This is floodplain.
I drove through that same flooding that day that you took those photos.
Yeah, I didn't drive through it.
I took my canoe.
So, a motion to continue until
Yeah.
January 12th?
Second by anybody?
Seconded.
All right, motion to continue made by Arthur, seconded by Amanda. Roll call. Vice Chairman Rizzo.
Yes.
Secretary Vivaldi.
Yes.
Commissioner Comack.
Yes.
Commissioner Athos.
Yes.
Commissioner Green.
Yes.
And Commissioner Carricchio.
Yes.
All right, so it is continued until January 12th, passes 6-0, and I will reach out to everyone about a site visit once I get in touch with the wetland scientist to find out what works for him.
All righty. Okay, next item is under enforcement. It's item number 9. Continued enforcement order issued to Pedro Polini for work located at 60 Warren Street. Property owner has done various projects in the riverfront without a permit from the commission. The most egregious issue of falling retaining wall and stormwater drainage pipes into Proctor Brook. We're still waiting for feedback from the city solicitor on this. Lucia, I guess?
Yes, I have been reaching out to him. Stuart's been reaching out to him. Travis has been reaching out to him. I'm not really sure what's going on. Between me and Stuart, we've probably sent him at least like 5 emails in the last 2 weeks, maybe even more than that. So I will call him. Maybe he doesn't read his emails. I'm not really sure what's going on.
All right, we'll continue the next meeting. Motion to continue.
So moved.
Seconded.
All right, motion to continue made by Bruce, seconded by Amanda. Roll call. Vice Chairman Rizzo.
Yes.
Secretary Vivaldi.
Yes.
Commissioner Comack.
Yes.
Commissioner Athos.
Yes.
Commissioner Green.
Yes.
And Commissioner Cavicchio.
Yes.
All right, so that is continued until December 6-0.
Okay. Okay, other items, tree requests. So we have a tree request for 69 Lynn Street from Iron Tree Services.
Yeah, they're not here, so
You just continue that then?
yeah, I'm not sure. I sent them the link.
We don't, it's not even, it's just other matters. We have to continue this, right? It's not a,
Yeah, no, just, I mean, the tree protocol says it all. Get me the
Yeah.
paperwork within a week. They did that. I forwarded them the link and the agenda, and then I haven't heard back from anyone. It's not really my responsibility
Yeah.
to present it to you guys. If they want it done, they really need to come and explain why the tree needs to come down.
okay. Very good. All right. Then next thing will be minutes. September 29th done and October 13th drafted.
Yeah, I'm still drafting October.
Okay. So how about the September 29th? Oh,
Sorry. Yeah, they're already up on the website. And I was sent them to you guys a while ago, but Mike, you probably didn't see them because you
No,
were
I
dealing
didn't.
with other
Yeah.
things.
I didn't see them. So you guys, if you guys saw them and you want to approve them, then
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
Seconded.
All right, and I guess I'm gonna do a roll call on this. So it was motion to accept by Vivaldi, seconded by Bruce for September 29 minutes. Vice Chairman Rizzo.
I haven't seen them.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Secretary Vivaldi,
Yes.
Commissioner Comack,
Yes.
Commissioner Athos,
Yes.
Commissioner Green,
Yes.
Commissioner Cavicchio.
Yes.
All right, so that is accepted 5-1 with Vice Chairman Rizzo not voting because he didn't read them.
Okay.
Abstaining, thank you. Or voting present, I guess.
Yeah. All right, any other items that want to discuss? Or you make a motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn.
Second on that? All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, so was that made by author and seconded by Mike Vivaldi? Did I hear that right?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. And could we just get a hand raise again? I'm sorry. Excellent. All right, so adjourned at 8:44.
All right.
Wow, amazing.
More than amazing.
Yeah, this was.
Good night.
All right, guys.
Well, have a good
Happy Thanksgiving to everyone.
Yes, everybody have a nice Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.